Good evening. This is the 5FM main news at 18:30 with Judith Mwape. The headlines. Japanese government pledges $1.5 billion investment to boost Zambia's mining sector. President Hichilema encourages scientists and researchers to develop seed varieties that are drought and flood resistant. 50,000 Russian soldiers confirmed dead by BBC. And now the news in detail. The Japanese government has pledged an investment of $1.5 billion to support investment by Japanese companies to boost Zambia's mining sector. Japan's Minister of Economy, Trade and Industry, Saito Ken, says its Japanese business corporation is eager to invest in the country's mining industry. He said this during a bilateral meeting held earlier at the METI offices in Tokyo. And METI Vice Minister Takuo Ishii explained that cooperation in the exploration field is also progressing between the Japanese Organization and Metals and Energy Security and the Zambian Ministry of Mines and Mineral Resources, stating that they have already provided training in satellite exploration techniques to 159 government officials in Zambia. Speaking at the same event, Minister of Mines and Minerals Development Paul Kabuswe stated that government is proposing collaboration and investment with Japan in areas such as geological mapping and support in geochemical and geophysical mapping of the country. He further sought continued cooperation and support in building capacity at the Geological Survey Department in the area of geosciences, particularly in new and advanced technology of geological, geophysical, and geochemical mapping, among others. This is according to a statement issued by First Secretary Press and Public Relations Faith Chilube, Embassy of the Republic of Zambia in Tokyo, Japan. President Hakainde Hichilema has encouraged scientists and researchers in Zambia to develop seed varieties that are drought and flood resistant amid the climate change which has come to stay. Speaking when he toured the Zambia Agricultural Research Center today, President Hichilema also urged scientists and researchers to breed varieties that are high-yielding to bring about efficiencies in the production of crops. The head of state says mitigation measures are needed to counter the climate change, which he says will come from research. President Hichilema, however, stated that research alone is not good enough if its products are not taken to farmers for testing. He says if research institutions work in isolation, there will be less optimality, hence they should reach out to each other and work together. The head of state says by collaborating, the institutes would be able to create and the nation would benefit in ensured food security.
Some of this sorghum will survive under a flood and it will survive under a drought. It's fantastic. This is good. But also to breed varieties that are high yielding so that we can bring about efficiencies in our production of the crops that we produce. This will come from research. But research is not good enough if it's not taken to the fields. It's not taken to the farmers to grow those varieties with such attributes. The high yielding is important because we want to drift agriculture to higher productivity.
5 FM radio station today made donation of sanitary pads to approximately 226 girls at Kalikiliki and Chainda community schools in Lusaka under the Gift a Pad, Keep a Girl Child in School initiative. The donation stems from the $3,000 partnership with God Award. Speaking during the handover ceremony of the donation, 5FM representative Cecilia Tresha says the partnership with God Award will sustain the Gift a Pad, Keep a Girl Child in School initiative for the whole year.
This is a project to an initiative to help keep you girls in school. Even when you have your periods, at least you have something to wear, so you don't miss schoolwork, you don't miss tests, so that you create great female leaders in the future, right?
Meanwhile, God Award Country Director Paul McAfee expressed delight to be part of the initiative, adding that the gesture is part of the organization's corporate social responsibility, which is based on education, health, and gender equality.
It's a great honour for us to be involved with 5FM in this initiative, and it's very important to us because you people are the future. You young ladies and girls are the future for Zambia, and it's very important that you keep up your studies and work hard and progress. And you see, most of my team are ladies. Yeah, and we have a great emphasis on the leadership of women in our business.
And receiving the donation, Kalikiliki Community School head teacher Stanford Mudenda says the gesture has come at the right time, as most of the girls are either orphans or come from homes that cannot afford to buy sanitary towels. More than 8 people, motivated by succession wrangles, have been arrested for abducting Chief Chitambo's close party in Chitambo District, Central Province. The incident occurred on Saturday, 14th April 2024. Chief Chitambo of the Lala people of Chitambo has thanked the Zambia Police Service, particularly Christopher Chibuye, the officer commanding for Serenje and Chitambo District, for quick action to restore law and order in the chiefdom. The traditional leader said the rival camp pounced on headmen that were presiding on traditional court cases, beating them ruthlessly. He said the camp further went for his uncle, visually impaired, beating him mercilessly. Chief Chitambo said the attackers went to the palace where they beat up Chief's returners. The Lala chief said the suspects are currently in police custody and will appear in court soon. Chief Chitambo said 3 other suspects are on the run, with police working hard to arrest them.
Obufumu byo bwaleesalwa ababe ne bantu balimu balupu abamu obamu abalimu baalipa ebumba ly'abaali ensalala pali abwabo beeke nabeena lupu alweswa bansalire guno ku nsala. Now because they have been criminals even before, they have just taken advantage of the situation. Nechibipi shepo chakutira very dangerous criminals by the name of Michael Fresh and Mwewa, commonly known as Izo Izo, are on the run, and one female called Munshakunda is also on the run.
United, Prosperous and Peaceful Zambia leader Charles Chanda has advised President Hakainde Hichilema to address the perceived corruption within the UPND administration and refocus on revitalizing the nation's economy. Mr. Chanda has expressed concern that the UPND government, which started off strongly after assuming office, has now turned off course due to alleged corruption scandals. He emphasized the urgency for President Hichilema to take decisive action to restore public trust and confidence in the government's ability to govern effectively. Mr. Chanda is uncertain of the ruling party's future of forming government, particularly in the upcoming 2026 elections. He suggests that the party's leadership address internal issues and regain momentum to ensure their political longevity.
But unfortunately, the levels of corruption that cannot be controlled is a huge problem that is seeing UPND back in the opposition. Problem that is there is that there is uncertainty on the future of the party, and hence every official wants to make life now. If the president doesn't act and continue to watch what's happening, he may end up like an Arsenal fan who thinks that will win the league, and finally the league gets out of their hands.
In other stories trending this evening, President Hakainde Hichilema has disclosed that a total of 23.5 billion kwacha is urgently needed to effectively implement immediate life-saving and sustaining as well as humanitarian recovery needs amid the drought situation in the country. Police have arrested a man of Serenja District, Central Province, for indecent assault of a child aged 10. Up next, the business news.
5FM Radio Business News. We mean business. Keep you current in commerce, trade, and industry, local and global. It's our business to keep you informed about business.
Ministry of Labour and Social Security Permanent Secretary Boniface Nalishiwa says the tourism sector has shown positive growth, outstripping all other sectors in a manner likely to significantly contribute to Zambia's economy. Speaking at the Travel, Hospitality and Tourism Education Summit today, Mr. Nalishiwa says the recent productivity report has also shown an increase in tourist numbers, promising a rise in foreign exchange. Mr. Nalishiwa says the positive scores are expected to bolster both the tourism sector and the national economy overall. He has mentioned that through the Ministry of Labour and Social Security's Workers' Compensation Plan Control Board, investments are being made in the northern region. He has stressed the importance of domestic tourists visiting tourism attraction sites to promote and support the growth of the local community, underscoring the crucial role tourism plays in the overall development of the nation.
Late last year, it is very clear that the tourism sector post-COVID period has recorded positive growth. And for us, like you heard in the presentation, tourism, the value chain around it, there are so many areas. Those in the hospitality, of course, we talk of accommodation, transportation, and the like. These contribute to the growth of the economy. More so when tourists come. Tourists come, there's forex. So if we attract as many tourists as possible, then we expect our economy to grow.
Meanwhile, Olayanka Mandale, the chief of Inclusive Industrialization at the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa, emphasized the significance of investing in human capital as it sustains the country's development trajectory.
Are trying to recover the resiliency in the sector post-COVID-19, and we are seeing some of that picking up, and some of the data is showing that the buoyancy is coming back, but there's still some way to go. But I think, generally speaking, if we look at the establishment of the single continental tourism market through the AFCFTA, which is specifically around increasing market access.
That ends the business news.
5FM Radio Business News. We mean business. Keep you current in commerce, trade, and industry, local and global. It's our business to keep you informed about business.
And now in foreign news, Russia's military death toll in Ukraine has now passed the 50,000 mark, the BBC has confirmed. In the second 12 months on the front line, as Moscow pushed its so-called meat grinder strategy, BBC found the body count was nearly 25% higher than in the first year. BBC Russian independent media group Media Zona and volunteers have been counting deaths since February 2022. New graves in cemeteries helped provide the names of many soldiers. More than 27,300 Russian soldiers died in the second year of combat, according to BBC findings, a reflection of how territorial gains have come at a huge cost. At a huge human cost. Russia has declined to comment. Here's a roundup from the BBC.
The leader of a Nigerian separatist movement has appeared in the High Court in the capital Abuja. Nnamdi Kanu, who leads the banned Indigenous People of Biafra movement, faces several charges, including terrorism. He's previously pleaded not guilty. Businesses and shops in Uganda have shut down in a protest against high taxes and a new revenue collection system. The week-long strike was launched by the Federation of Uganda Traders Association. It was triggered by the government's enforcement of a tax regime requiring all receipts and invoices to be submitted digitally. Parliament in Georgia has approved the first reading of contentious legislation on foreign agents that's prompted large opposition protests. It would require media companies and civil society organizations that receive funds from abroad to register as pursuing the interests of a foreign power. Critics say the proposed law threatens freedom of speech.
And finally, in sports news, Premier League strugglers Nottingham Forest's increase in season ticket prices for the 2024-2025 season has been strongly criticised by a fans group. An adult season ticket in Zone 1 of the Brian Clough upper stand has increased by 28%, while a child's season ticket has increased by up to 111%. Nottingham Forest Supporters Trust said it strongly opposes the rise. It added that the average price increases are totally disproportionate to the current inflation rate. Another weather report brought to you by Class Econ.
Class Econ Roofing Africa. Class Econ Roofing, plot 17100 off Katanga Road, 150 meters from Mumbwa Road, Chinika Industrial Area, Lusaka. Class Econ Roofing. Class plus economy. Class Econ. Class Econ Roofing Africa. Class Econ.
The evening will be mainly cloudy, slightly windy and mild, with a chance of isolated rain and occasional thunder. That ends the weather report.
Class Econ Roofing Africa. Class Econ Roofing, plot 17100 off Katanga Road, 150 meters from Mumbwa Road, Chinika Industrial Area, Lusaka. Class Econ Roofing. Class plus economy. Class Econ. Class Econ Roofing Africa. Class Econ.
And that weather item brings us to the end of the news this evening. But before we go, a recap of the top stories. Japanese government pledges $1.5 billion investment to boost Zambia's mining sector. President Hichilema encourages scientists and researchers to develop seed varieties that are drought and flood resistant. $50,000 Russian soldiers confirmed dead by BBC. For more news, follow us on Facebook, 5FM Radio Zambia. On behalf of the entire news crew and the technical department, thank you for listening to the Happy World of 5FM. Stay safe and stay tuned to 5FM Radio. I'm Judith Mwape. Good evening.